Smart innovation.
I always thought of VTubers as essentially the same as no-cam streamers who happen to have a funny little cartoon themselves hanging out instead. Yeah. I would say, right, VTubers are closer to no-face cam streamers.
That's
Actually,
also true.
A lot of people that were streamers with no-face cam had a little PNG, a little character drawn and threw it in the corner, and did that for a long time. Just for
and a lot of no face cam streamers that have been doing it a long time have been making the switch to VTubing.
Branding and the
yeah, I've had a lot of flesh tubers, a lot of flesh streamers tell me that had they have had the option to be a VTuber originally before when they first started streaming, they would have taken that instead of being a face cam streamer. I have been told this by so many people. It's actually pretty crazy. Some people just don't want to be on camera, and that's okay.
It's streaming. I've noticed this over time. The stuff that people get most invested in. It's streamers' relationships to each other and watching certain people do things together. The social dynamics people just really want to keep up on. I didn't realize how strong it was until I got into vshojo, and suddenly there were all these people that cared way more about like my interactions with the members and stuff. And I was like,
yeah.
They really care, huh? They're really, like, I don't know, some people are like insane about it. Not even in a bad way, I'm just saying they're very invested.
That is very, very true. That's very, very true. You get a lot of passionate people that the only thing they care about is you interacting with their faves and all this crazy shit. And it's just like, sometimes it's like, okay,
and I'm like, wow, this is wow. This is a whole beast.
It's a lot.
Yeah, that actually is an issue with VTubing. Some people don't take you seriously. Now, if you just didn't use a model and you were a no face cam streamer and did the same exact thing, they usually would. Personally, I just think if you show up I
feel like it's kind of changing now, though. A little bit. Not a lot, but slowly it kind of is.
Have voices that are a little higher in pitch or a little cuter or whatever. A little cute accent, right? The word cute comes up because it's just that sort of thing. Whether you're a VTuber or not, people will infantilize that. They do it IRL. They do it IRL. I see it in the workplace when I was working full-time. Some girl would get on the call and she's a professional. I said some girl, but really it's some woman, right? A woman would get on a call and she would know exactly what she's talking about. She would do her work so well, but she'd be like, hey guys, and they'd be like, and they'd treat her like a baby.
That's also true.
You know what I mean? Sometimes they meant really well, but they would still do that. It's not always a VTuber thing. Sometimes it's very much like people just treating women that sound maybe a little younger or seem cuter as if they're actually.
It's the voice thing, but it's also height. It's a lot of things. It's appearance. People just do that sort of thing. It's just a normal thing that people do, and it's something I've dealt with like my whole life because growing up and becoming an adult, I've always been treated a certain way because of certain aspects of myself and certain aspects in my life. So, you know, it is what it is. But then again, let's be honest, I'm not I'm not the most mature either.
With these interesting voices and especially things that are cuter in general, people love watching in the VTubing sphere, right?
And it's crazy to me because like I feel like a lot of the people that criticize or like infantilize or whatever, or like say have like an opinion or something to say about it, like they've never been around other people, enough other people, because like to me, a woman with a high-pitched voice, a woman that sounds younger, or a woman that looks younger, or a woman that's super short, those things are very normal to me. Like they're very normally occurring in nature. I don't know if it's because I'm Latina and like I've just met a lot of Latinas that have the high-pitched voice. They're short. It's just a normal thing in where I'm from. So to me, it's like when I meet people that have never experienced somebody who's had like a small, like a high-pitched voice or a short woman in their life, and they start saying, what the f, and start either complaining or saying weird about it. It's just like, I can tell you have not been around the world. You have not touched grass and you have not been around. Because, I can assure to you that women that have a higher pitched voice than me, and I know women that are like older women that are shorter than me and that have higher pitched voices than me, and they act a certain way, I can assure you that they do exist because I know them personally. You know what I mean? It's crazy. You know? I don't know.
Seen it, but I'm sure most of you have.
I'm sorry, I'm not a tall woman.
Men with high voices do get infantilized as well. Yep, for sure.
That's
sure.
also
I'm just using
true.
an example because a lot of female VTubers with those kinds of voices are the ones that bring it up and say, oh, we get treated weirdly because we're VTubers. But my argument is that I think you would get treated like this if you were a no face cam streamer as well, because your voice is what it is and people are weird about it.
There's so many actresses that have like high pitched voices and stuff like that. Actors, actresses, athletes, all sorts of people from all walks of life that have differently sounding voices, and they're differently sized, and it's just like people just act weird around us because it's like
being like a little
Be
baby,
acting
and I'm
weird.
like, what? People see a streamer act a certain way, being a little goofy, and they're just like, well, that's who they are. They're just like, that's who they are. You know, I've watched them for a few hours every day, which means I know 95% of everything
don't
about
care.
them and how situations.
That's what
you know
people
how
don't
you
get.
act
It's
in
like
front of your family. You act a different way at
you
work.
have
act a different way in front
a
of your
certain
friends. You would
way
also
of
act a
acting
different
in
way
front of different
in
types
front
of
of a camera on
people.
stream.
It's not that you're
People
fake.
forget
It's
that
just
everyone code switch.
you can't act the same
personality
everywhere.
for. I think you'll see it with streamers too. Sometimes they'll use like personality A with stream, and personality A is really meant more for like family or something. They'll like say a sentence and it'll sound a little different because they're just using a different tone. And people will be like, oh my god, the mask slipped. They'll say dramatic stuff like that. They'll be like, oh, we saw them slip for a moment. And I'm like, it's the same as picking up the phone and answering it like you're going hello to a family member, and then someone goes, it's your boss, and you go, oh, sorry. Oh yeah, real voice reveal. Oh my god.
Everybody has
I
that
see
though.
they've stopped hiding their voice.
I'm just gonna say it. People are stupid. They're stupid. People are stupid.